address then the concern that's been raised that if the $300 billion plus that the president's going to propose, if that's the amount, that if it were not immediately paid for, it runs the risk of busting the debt ceiling early before next year's election?
Again, it will be paid for. We're not going to bust the debt ceiling. It is important to remember throughout these analyses as you go forward, because there are a lot of complexities involved in short-term measures, long-term measures. Let me take you back, painfully I'm sure, to the summer when we were discussing grand bargains and other proposals to get a hold of our deficits and debt. There were upfront, near-term discretionary cuts involved in all of the proposals, big and small, and the ultimate one that was agreed on and signed into law by the president when a grand bargain fell through. There were also discussions of entitlement reforms and tax reforms, balancing of revenue and other measures, cuts and revenues that obviously did not take effect immediately and relied on a duration, on triggers and that sort of thing. So it is a false assumption to say that, well, wait a second, where's your, why aren't you reducing the deficit and debt by $3 to $4 trillion tomorrow? That was never envisioned by anybody who was engaged in the serious negotiations, either outside through Simpson-Bowles or Domenici-Rivlin, or on the inside with the Speaker of the House and the President of the United States.
Is the President hopeful that he can consult members of Congress before he delivers this address tomorrow night?
I feel like I've answered this about a half dozen times. I don't have any announcements to make about phone calls or meetings. When I do, I'll make them. The President consults regularly with, has spent more time with the leaders of Congress in recent months than he has with a lot of folks, including those much closer to him. And I think that he will continue to meet and consult with rank and file members and leaders as we go forward, as he pushes Congress to act responsibly and do something that the American people want done, which is to get our economy growing and get jobs created.
It was reported today that the White House team briefed Democratic strategists and lobbyists about details of the president's jobs plan. Is that true?
We have meetings regularly with a variety of groups from the outside, and I would steer you away from the idea that we briefed anybody in great detail about the plan from the outside.
Did the President's press team brief columnists for newspapers about specifics of the President's plan exclusively?
Again, we have meetings regularly. We have meetings with you, members of the White House press corps, as well as others in the press, with some regularity, with different levels of ground rules in terms of the information and how it can be used and when it can be used, and that's an ongoing process.